lucky investor who did really well, remember this. It isn't always luck. Sometimes it's Barron's.
Get the next 26 weeks of Barron's for $32. Just call toll-free 800-USA-1000. And also get as a bonus the helpful booklet, The ABCs of Market Forecasting. That's 26 weeks of Barron's plus the bonus booklet for just $32. Call 800-USA-1000 now. Don't make a move without Barron's.
This is the USA Cable Network.
From Bertrand Lanes in Waukegan, Illinois, USA Network presents the Professional Bowlers Tour. And tonight, it's the $100,000 Waukegan Open. These are the 5 finalists. In 5th place is Jimmy Certain. After 17 years with the PBA, he's still looking for his first singles title. This could be his night. The 4th place finisher returns to the site of his only PBA title 14 years later. Les Sykes is going for it again. Qualifying 3rd is Earl Anthony, who's won more PBA titles than anyone. Tonight could be number 42 for the PBA Hall of Famer. In 2nd place is Buffalo, New York's Tom Baker. At 28, he's the youngest finalist of the 5. And the man they'll be shooting at, this week's leader, another PBA Hall of Famer, looking to prove he can still win, Johnny Petraglia. The $100,000 Waukegan Open on USA is brought to you in part by Miller High Life, the best beer for the best time of the day. Welcome to Miller Time. Buy mobile detergent gasoline for your everyday driving needs. Buy Levi's jeans, cords, and shirts for quality and style you can count on. And by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA One, and USA One is taking charge. Well, when the Pittsburgh Pirates want to claim their hold on the title in the National League East, they go to Willie Stargell, Pops. And when the Detroit Red Wings want to shore up their defense, they go to Brad Park. But when the PBA Tour wants to prove that the old-timers can still do it, they come to Waukegan. It's one of the oldest tour stops on the PBA. 1964 they began here. And this week, the average age is 40. After last week, it's 23 in Windsor, Ontario. I'm Al Troutwig along with Mike Durbin. And, Mike, that is a tremendous switch.
It certainly is, Alan. I don't know exactly what the reason for it is. I think maybe the condition here at Bertrand Lanes required just a little bit more accuracy this week. It was basically a down and in shot, and you had to hit 1 or 2 boards, and you didn't have that big swing area that they had last week. So some of the older players got in there, and as you say, our average age, this unbelievably, is 40 years old.
Well, right at the top of the heap, looking for his first tournament win since 1980, is Johnny Petraglia. And, Mike, he only bowled a 257 as a high game this week, so he was just consistent, and that's really all he needed.
Well, John has been in a terrible slump the last 3 years. He has a classic style with a great follow-through. He's been bowling extremely well at home. He's won 5 regionals in the last 2 years, but he hasn't won a PBA tournament since 1980 in Detroit, the PBA National. I know John really wants to win today. I really wish him well. It'd be nice to see him break his slump with a victory here at the Waukegan Open.
Well, the next man to talk about is Tom Baker, who's from Buffalo, New York. He disappointed us a few weeks ago when the people in Buffalo wanted him so desperately to make that Buffalo Open TV final. But at age 28, he is the youngest bowler here. Boy, that is different as well.
He would have been the oldest last week. Tom is a 5-step player, very smooth. He's a nice guy. He's won the Steve Nagy Sportsmanship Award twice out here. In 7 years, he's made over $350,000. He's won 5 titles, but he hasn't won since last year. I know he'd like to get his first victory here this week.
Well, the last man to talk about is a man who gathers a lot of attention on the PBA Tour, and a lot of people have said, where's Earl Anthony been on the PBA Summer Tour? Well, he's been taking it easy, but here, after making his return last week in Windsor and finishing 118th, he's right back in the thick of things.
Well, Marshall Holman's given him a bit of a challenge for Bowler of the Year, so Earl decided he comes out. He's still our leading money winner. He's made $131,000 this year so far. If he wins today, he can add $13,000 more to that. Earl has 41 career victories, but what a lot of people don't know is he has 43 seconds. He wants to get even. He can't get even today, but he can get close. He can get to 42 victories if he wins today.
Mike, I look at you as someone who has textbook form. How do you look at Earl Anthony's bowling motion?
Well, his nickname is the Doomsday Stroking Machine, and that's just what Earl is. He is smooth. He hits that target shot after shot after shot. I bowled him this year in the PBA National for the title. In the third frame, I think it was, he left the 6-8, and I fully expected him to make it, and he did. So he's just that type of player. He's extremely accurate, extremely confident, but he doesn't always have good luck on television.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing these 5 TV finalists battle it out. We're also looking forward to seeing Earl Anthony make his first summer tour appearance on our TV finals here on USA. Earlier, I had a chance to chat with the old veteran himself. Earl, last week we had all those young bowlers. This week it's all the older bowlers, of which you're a part. Is that satisfying for you?
Well, I don't know if it's satisfying or not, Al, but it was very frustrating last week. This week is, I think, a little bit more experienced players. I think that's the key. I think the fact that the guys that have made the telecast this week have been around a while, they probably make a little better adjustments pair to pair. I think that was the key this week.
You took it easy on the summer tour. What's the reason for that?
I'm getting old, Al. I took some time off. I wanted to spend a little more time with my bowling centers in California. I played some golf, relaxed, and spent some more time with my family. And bowling has gotten to the point where it's very hard for me to come out and really work hard at the game and get involved to the point that I have in past years. So I decided I'd get away from it for a while and see if I could get a little bit more of a renewed interest into it.
Aside from the fact that you're getting older, what's the difference between Earl Anthony 1983 and Earl Anthony 14 years ago?
Gee, I really couldn't tell you, Al. Getting older is the biggest thing, I guess, but more experience as a player professionally, more experienced in how to handle myself professionally. I think I've matured tremendously so that on the lanes, as far as handling myself in key situations, I seem to be able to do that much better than I did when I first came on the tour. I may not be as good a bowler as I was physically 10 or 14 years ago, but I think because of the maturity and the experience, I tend to perform more consistently now than I did then.
Oh, what about this field tonight? For my money, it's a very interesting and exciting field to watch.
It's a very strong field and a very experienced field. There isn't anybody on there I want to bowl against, but hopefully I'll get to bowl against 3 of them. But I think that their scores will be reasonably good, and I think that they'll see some very fine shot making by the whole field.
And we expect to see fine shot making tonight in the TV finals of the 1983 Waukegan Open. Les Sykes and Jimmy Certain start things off with the $100,000 tournament as we get started on USA after this.
All right, we're up 15. We got this game won.
Yeah, you guys are buying a light beer from Miller.
Yeah, nice Philly.
One out to go.
Yeah, what can he do to us now?
Hey, I'll keep the change. Here's Rodney!
Any pinch hitters left? Here I am.
Come on, Lee! Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Hey, wait a minute. This game isn't over yet. I caught that ball.
Sometimes it's reassuring to know your car will perform well. That's why stunt driver Michelle Slate relies on Mobile detergent gasoline. After all, a car with a clean carburetor performs better. It's as simple as that. Mobile detergent gasoline for your everyday driving needs.
Levi's, beige, corduroy, Levi's, green, corduroy, Levi's, blue, corduroy, Levi's, tan, corduroy, white, gray, brown, cream, corduroy,
Thank you, Mr. President.
Cord, 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 cord.
The The 20th edition of the Waukegan Open for the PBA Tour begins with 32 years of PBA experience. Les Sykes to the right of your screen, 48 years old, looking for his second PBA title. And Jimmy Certain to the left of your screen, 44 years old, looking for his first PBA singles title. This is where we begin, and this ought to warm everybody up quickly for the seniors.
Right, we've got
next week.
92 years of age right here between these two fellows combined here. Bowling on lanes 17 and 18 here at Bertrand Lanes in Waukegan. The pair plays pretty even. I don't think there's a big difference between either of the lanes. They're going to be playing right around the second arrow, going pretty straight and keeping the ball pretty firm.
Here's Jimmy Certain. His average this week, 211.
Five-step player. And I think it was just nerves that caused that. He didn't throw a shot like that in practice. It just never got out of that ball clean, right through the heart of the pins, and leaves double pinnacle to 4-6, 7-10. Watch the five-step, knees bent, ball in motion quickly, and he just doesn't get out of it clean right there. And it was left of target. You got to be right on target here. You can't miss. He'll go for two, hard and straight, hoping to bounce it out. And almost did. It almost bounced out of there. Gets 8 out right away.
A valiant effort by Jimmy Certain, but he comes up empty in the first frame. And now to Les Sykes, who won here 14 years ago. Hasn't won since.
And I was here when Les won in 1969. He starts it off, and he's a little high also, and he breaks up the split. Both bowlers just being a little nervous the first shot. Certain paid for it, and Sykes didn't.
He just did get the 9.
Les, upright player here. Again, 5 steps, kind of a free swing. Very smooth. Watch the follow through. Goes to the right, and the ball goes left. He falls off balance there. Just missed his target, probably a board to the left. But that's all. It's too much this week. Cross lane at the 4-7. Has the spare. As I was saying, when he won in 1969, he defeated Billy Harder. And I was in the back watching. He needed a mark in the 10th frame to win his first PBA title, and he got a strike. And I could still remember how he threw the ball and the 5-pin just barely falling over.
Did he grip the ball the same way then?
Well, I really don't know. Les experiments a lot with his grip. You can see the fingers spread here. He's not a power player. He's a stroker. Thumb all the way in the ball. See how those fingers are spread apart here? Better shot. Right solid in the 1-3 pocket. Blows some air out now. See how his swing goes out and then back in. He kind of helped that one up into the pocket with his follow-through, but a great result.
Les Sykes, very serious. He wants it badly. So does Jimmy Certain.
Jimmy Certain probably came closest to ever winning his own singles title right here in 1979 when he was defeated by Wayne Webb in the final game for Webb's first victory. It's a strike on lane 18. Wayne Webb needed a mark in the 10th frame that year to defeat Jimmy Certain, and he left the 3-6-10 and made it on the left. Certain, much better shot here. Good extension. Right over about the 11th board, solid in the 1-3 pocket. Not much hook. Jimmy, when he first came on the tour, threw as big a hook as anybody. He's cut it down now, and throws it almost as straight as I do with this particular bowling ball.
It's his first championship round appearance since he placed 3rd in the 1980 Quad Cities Open. That was in Iowa.
He wants to make up for that split here right away and get a double going.
Down by 12.
5 quick steps. Gives this one more room. It's right there. Oh, from double pinnacle to 8-10.
It's not as bad as the 7-10, but...
Well, it just about is. The 8-10, you don't make that very often either. He thought he threw the ball well. He was running it out. It just never bit the lane here. It was a characteristic of this house that the oil seemed to carry down the lane and the ball wouldn't hit in the pit very hard. Hard and straight at the 10 pin, trying to bounce it out, and he almost did again, but almost doesn't count. He has 2 opens and 3 frames. Sykes finds himself up 24 pins, and he's only bowled 2 frames. Can increase it to 34 if he can double here on lane 18. A little light. Just never got the lift. Quick feet that time. He pushed the ball a little early, was chasing it, and never got the lift on the ball. Left at 2.48.
Les is one of 3 Hall of Famers that we'll see tonight. Petraglia and Earl Anthony in the PBA Hall of Fame. But Les winning titles of one kind or another back to 1940, and in 5 decades overall, winning him a place in the ABC, American Bowling Congress Hall of Fame.
He's been a steady performer for a number of years.
5 decades.
At the 2.48, has it. Nice shot. Do a much better shot at the spare than he did at the strike.
Both of these bowlers from the Midwest. Les is from Palatine, Illinois, and Jimmy Certon's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is north of here.
There we see the score. 36 in the third for Certon, 40 in the second, with a spare up in the third for Sykes. The difference, 24 pins. Les taking quite a bit of time here. He did all week long, more than he usually does, but it paid off. Solid in the 1-3 pocket. He's got lane 17 down pat.
Well, lest the people from Les's City get upset, it's Palatine, Illinois.
Watch the follow-through here. The swing goes out, back in, follow-through to the right. Solid in the 1-3 pocket.
Now to Jimmy Certon, down by 24 pins in the 4th frame. $13,000 the top prize here in Waukegan.
And Jimmy faces an uphill battle, but he's a fighter all the way. Looks like a good shot here. Perfect on lane 18. Now if we can just figure out 17.
Well, Mike, he's back in the pocket. These bowlers respect the lane conditions here probably more than we've seen them anywhere else. Let's watch Jimmy Certon's look at this shot.
Good follow-through. See the follow-through? He knows it's solid, but that's only one. We got to string him out here right now.
But the bowlers weren't practicing on these 2 lanes getting ready for tonight's competition. Why was that?
Well, the reason is that in this particular bowling center, as you bowl on them, the lanes break down in the front part of the lane or in the heads, and they don't break down in the back end, so the ball winds up hooking early and hitting weak. So the bowlers decided that they would practice very little and try and keep as good a shot as they can have out there for as long as they can. Pretty good shot, leaves a 4-pin. He's just a little left to target and didn't get a break to trip that 4 out of there. The left-handers especially did that today. The 2 left-handers we have on our show, Earl Anthony and Johnny Petraglia, both agreed last night that they would come over and only throw 3 or 4 shots to see that the lanes were basically the same, and then they went over to the practice fair and spent the rest of the time over there practicing. Hard and straight at the 4-pin. Has it. Right now, Certon is down by 24 pins.
Last week in Windsor, it was a battle of the youth. This week in Waukegan, it's a battle of the veterans. The PBA will continue on USA in a moment.
Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge with Chevy S10 Maxi Cab. There's never been an extended cab pickup like it before. You can't even get one in a Ford Ranger or Toyota. Taking charge of people space, Maxi Cab with available rear jump seats has behind-the-seat room Datsun King Cab can't match. Taking charge with up to 40% more cab load space than Datsun King Cab. Now choose 10.9% financing or $300 cash back on new 83 S10 pickups and Maxi Cabs. Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge.
The 80s, the decade of physical fitness, and suddenly sore muscle relief enters a new era with Sports Cream, a different kind of pain-relieving rub. Unlike other rubs, Sports Cream doesn't feel hot going on because it penetrates for deep relief without heat. Unlike other rubs, Sports Cream smells light and clean because it doesn't need strong liniment odor to work. Sports Cream, fast, effective relief for sore muscles without heat or odor. It's the pain reliever of the 80s.
A double play. Anyone who pitches for a living loves a beautifully turned twin killing. Hi, this is Tom Seaver for the Sporting News, and we have a twin killing for you. 2 issues for the price of 1 to introduce you to the Sporting News, the Sports Bible. That's right, you'll get 26 issues of the Sporting News for just $9.99. 2 for the price of 1. And you can't buy the Sporting News for a lower price anywhere. It's the magazine that gives me the no-nonsense details of all Major League sports and college action. To love sports is to love the Sporting News, the Sports Bible. Why don't you subscribe today, and here's a friend to tell you how.
That's right, Tom. You get the sporting news at the low rate of 38 cents an issue. 26 issues for $9.99. That's half the regular subscription price. Call toll-free 1-800-USA-1000. In Georgia, 1-800-222-7272. That's 1-800-USA-1000. In Georgia, 1-800-222-7272.
Here is the number 7 finisher, actually, here in the Waukegan Open, Pete Weber. He's sitting in as the alternate. Ted Hanna's had to depart, but Ted still gets his money for finishing in 6th spot.
Right, but Petey gets the alternate money.
Les Sykes and Jimmy Certain met in match play. Jimmy Certain was a winner, 216 to 200, but that was then and this is now. And now it is Les Sykes with a 24-pin lead.
Interesting, both these players with only one PBA title, and both of their bowling goals to win another title. Logical enough. Les trying to double. Helped that one up a little bit. And got the 10-pin out of there. He didn't think that would carry. He thought it would leave a 10-pin, and he snapped it out of there.
He was looking quite anxiously at the result of that throw.
Well, this is a track condition. You get that ball on that track, and sometimes you just don't know exactly how it's going to hit. Jimmy Certain, back in the 3rd frame, thought the ball was going to hit really well, and it didn't. So we see 60 in the 3rd for Sykes with a double working, and 56 in the 4th with a spare up for Certain. The difference, 34 pins.
So Les Sykes working on a double.
Les has hit this lane twice in a row. Somebody spilled an ashtray back here, and he dropped the ball.
Boy, he got lucky.
Only a 7-pin. He could not have helped but hear that as it clanged all over the place back here. I'm surprised he didn't stop.
Well, lucky for him, he's only left the 7-pin. It almost was worse than that.
But it also could have been a strike. Keep Certain, though, with some breathing room alive. Cross lane at the 7-pin. Has it easily. Jimmy, who now owns a pro shop up in Milwaukee. He wanted me to be certain say hello to his father, Herman Certain, who had a heart attack recently, and I guess is recovering quite well now in Huntsville, Alabama. And Jimmy sends his best. And we see Jimmy with a firm wrist, weight in both hands, very little push away. Good shot, and blows him right out of it. Having no trouble with lane 18, just lane 17. He's got double pinnacle, 8-10, and a 4-pin on 17. If he finds 17, he gets to finish the game, the match, on lane 18. He only has 2 more shots on lane 17. He's got to start striking right now. The difference, 33 pins. He can cut it down to 23 with a double right here.
Well, if you were with us last week and you saw the unfortunate night for the bowlers in which the title match was won 157-156, you know that one open frame of the entire match is upside down. That's something Jimmy Certain has to keep in mind.
It's right there. Gets a 10-pin out of it. Same hit that he had back in the 3rd frame, but this one struck.
That's 2 in a row, and that chips 10 pins off the lead of Les Sykes.
Watch Jimmy. He's very animated when he throws it well. He knows it's there. He says, carry this time. All right. Sykes is much more stoic. Concentrating intently. Helped that one just a little bit. Solid. Right in there. Right on target.
And something just brushed the 7-pin enough.
He's keeping it right in that track, right over the 2nd arrow. I bowled Les in the match play this week, and I don't think he missed his target one time. He's just been super accurate all week long.
Well, you look at Les's career earnings, $150,000. You know he just bowled at the wrong time, because Earl Anthony's got almost that much just this year.
Certainly does.
8th frame up by 23.
The best way to Respond to a double by your opponent is with a double. Right there. Solid, pretty shot, pretty shot. Les is throwing the ball super. Back up to 33 pins, and Jimmy Certain is in a must-strike situation. Jimmy is still potential 226 if he would strike all the way out. But he's getting to the situation right now that he just can't afford any more spares. He's hit this lane every time. He says it's there, and it is. Pretty shot. Back to 23. Right now, Alan, in the 9th frame here, right now is the biggest shot right now for Jimmy Certain. As he throws this one in the 8th frame, just perfect. He knew, see that long follow through? He runs out to the left, knows it's solid, just doesn't want to get a solid 7. But this is the most important shot of the week right now for Jimmy Certain. This is his difficult lane. As we see the score, 106, 129, the difference 23 pins. He must have this one to set himself up for his good lane in the 10th frame. It's light and leaves the 10. Just helped it just a little bit. Couldn't get a break on that 10 pin. Big shot right there. The best Jimmy can get right now, if he strikes, makes this and strikes out, is 205. Les Sykes is going at a 219 pace right now, is in the definite driver's seat. Cross lane at the 10 pin. Has it easily. One bad shot the first frame. The 8-10, he thought he threw the ball well.
That's a tough way to get started. You're scrambling after that.
Yes, it is. It unnerves you right away, but he came back and threw every ball from the 2nd frame on right in the pocket.
Comfortable lead for Les Sykes, up by 24.
Les can lock it up with a strike here. It's right there. Oh, solid.
Boy, Mike, his last 2 balls have been the best, I think, of the entire game for him.
He's getting better as the game goes on. Right now, he just needs to stay behind the foul line. He's back up to 34 pins ahead. He's going in a 229 pace, can strike all the way out for 249. A little higher scores than we saw last week. Maybe the old guys, well, they better not say that.
Well, they looked at the young players and said, well, they seemed to say anyway, hey, wait a minute, we're not out of this yet. Last year, the average age 23. This week, 40.
Good loft. Right there. Bam! Makes it look easy, doesn't he? Mr. Anthony better have his strike shoes on.
Well, we're watching these 2 bowlers on the TV pair, as we call it, lanes 17 and 18. Meanwhile, Earl Anthony practices on lanes 25 and 26.
It'll be interesting to see how the strategy of the 2 left-handed players works out. Not practicing much on the TV pair to keep the lanes basically tight and the same as when they bowled very well yesterday morning. Another good shot. Boy, just stuffing everyone.
Smooth and cool. Mike, I wonder, we have championship banners for all the bowlers above each alley. And Earl Anthony is practicing on the one alley that's right in the middle of the 3 banners that he has won. So right above him as he practices are his championship banners for 75, 76, and 77.
Right. He wants to add 83 to that.
Yeah.
One more. Perfect. 249. Great game. Great game.
Boy, Les Sykes finishes with a 249 and 6 straight strikes.
9 for the game.
What a wrap-up.
12-ball game. Certain finishing it out on the right lane. She's hit every time. Continues to.
Jimmy Certain's obviously disappointed. He knows that these opportunities are...
Yeah, once you get past 40, sometimes they're few and far between.
Yep.
Unless you're, there's Les, just thinking about his next opponent. They don't get any easier, though. Blows the 5 out of there. He's going to finish with 205. The only consolation he has is even if he'd have carried that 10 pin in the 9th frame, he still would have lost the match because Sykes was just too much this particular game.
Well, Mike, he really began sweating way before this game ever began, and
now his shirt is just wringing wet. Boy, if he'd have gone all 4 games today, we
would have to have had a shirt change. Here it is, last ball of the game.
And then another A10.
So he ends where he began, with a nearly impossible split. It was not to be for 44-year-old Jimmy Certain. But for Les Sykes at 48, he's hoping he can turn the clock back one more time. 249 to 203, and waiting in the wings, the man with more titles and more money than anybody else, Earl Anthony. We'll be back on USA after this.
Fresh and clean as a whistle. That's Irish Spring. Fresh and clean as a whistle.
Irish Spring's green and white stripes have two truly effective deodorants. Two deodorants.
And a fine fresh scent. So you're fresh and
clean as a whistle.
That's Irish Spring deodorant soap. Gets you fresh and clean as a whistle.
In the beginning, man's feet walked free, but the road to civilization was paved, so man developed shoes. Soon after that, man developed athlete's foot. Egad! Now at last there's Mycotin. Mycotin cures athlete's foot. It's the only athlete's foot medicine you can buy with myconazole, an ingredient available for the first time without a doctor's prescription. Mycotin in spray, powder, or cream. Mycotin, the end of the road for athlete's foot.
I've lost 16 pounds in just 2 weeks.
I lost 12 pounds in 10 days.
8 pounds and 2 inches in 1 week.
Hundreds upon hundreds of testimonials praising the Energizer.
As of this morning, I've lost 24 pounds.
The Energizer is a dramatically effective weight loss product.
I lost 30 pounds. 16 pounds.
12 pounds.
8 pounds.
24 pounds.
10 pounds.
30 pounds.
I want you to be 100% convinced. That's why we'll make you this very unusual offer. By ordering now, you can receive one 24-day supply of the Energizer. If after 24 days you don't lose all the weight you want to lose, we'll send you another 24-day supply absolutely free.
Lose weight fast with money-back guaranteed Energizer. Call toll-free 1-800-USA-1000. Note COD policy, and remember, free 24-day supply if you don't lose all the weight you want. Call 1-800-USA-1000 or save COD fees and send $19.95 to Energizer, Box 49648, Atlanta, Georgia 30359.
And in Game 2, Les Sykes hopes to continue the magic as he faces 45-year-old Earl Anthony. So it's 45 and 48, and the veterans keep coming at us here in the $100,000 Waukegan Open. But Mike, really, bowling is so unique as we look at Earl Anthony, in that strength, power, age mean very, very little.
I think it's great. I can remember back 10 years ago, Bill Nelson used to play quarterback for the Browns, and he came in the bowl where I was working. He was 32 at that time, and I was 32, and he was finished in his career, and I still had 10 years to go in the sport of bowling. It's one of the lifetime sports, and I think it's just fabulous.
So Earl Anthony getting set to square off against Les Sykes. You don't think his stomach is jumping up and down? Earl Anthony's won 41 titles. I doubt very much whether his stomach is jumping up and down, but we'll see. Earlier we did speak to Earl. This time we speak to Les Sykes. In 1969, the Mets won a pennant, and Les Sykes won the Waukegan Open. It's been a long time since then, hasn't it, Les?
Well, I guess that's about 14 years. It doesn't really seem that long, but when you look at it, I guess I always thought after that victory that I'd win a lot of victories, but it hasn't been that way.
What's the reason?
Well, first of all, I'm not a full-time player. I'm like a part-time, full-time man, and I have a business, and maybe I just don't spend enough time working at the game. I don't know, but I always felt that I would win, and if I stay out here, but who knows, maybe tonight I'll win.
Well, Les, you certainly did enough to become elected to the ABC Hall of Fame, and actually you've held titles in one form or another 5 decades. As you sit in your easy chair and you watch TV and you watch some of the other bowlers bowl, you have to feel very satisfied.
Well, I guess so. Even if I never do another thing, I guess I should be very satisfied. And I remember the first title I won was with my father in 1949. I was 13 years old, and that started me on my road. And I've had a great time bowling ever since.
Now, your father was a bowler. You're the middle generation, and the third generation, which is also remarkable, is your son Lyle. Lyle worked with the PBA last year. Now he's decided to go out on his own. Do you coach him, and how's he doing?
Well, Lyle seems to be having a little trouble, but I think he's coming around. He doesn't want to come out until he really feels that he is ready for the tour, and I don't blame him, because it's no fun getting your head beat in out here. So, but I think Lyle in the next year or so will be ready, and he'll be out here.
Les, how bad do you want to win tonight?
It's not the end of the world, but I do want to win.
And he has begun in the right fashion, winning game 1, defeating Jimmy Certain with a great game, 249, 9 strikes, finishing up with 6 in a row. I'm sure Earl Anthony was casting a casual glance over at lanes 17 and 18 to see what all the commotion was about. And all the commotion was about Les Sykes.
Well, Les didn't take any practice shots in between, so he's figuring he has it right now. He just wants to keep that same stroke. Starts on 17 that he just murdered in the first match. He's right there again. Trips the 4-pin out. The bowler's hot as Sykes right now. You've got to get on him in a hurry. Free swing out, and then it comes back in. Watch the follow through. A little bit to the right. The ball breaks just a little early. Watch the 2-pin. Third from the left. Goes to the wall. Gets both the 4 and the 7. And here's the doomsday stroking machine. Immediately throws it right through the nose.
He knew it as soon as he let it go.
And full penalty, 4-6 right out of the gate. It's amazing. He just turned this ball early. It was right of target. Hooks right now, and it's just got no chance. Boom. Earl will just go for 1. He won't even try for throw hard or anything of that nature. He doesn't do as some of the other players does. He doesn't have that great speed that a Mark Roth has. Right away, finds himself 11 pins down before he can sneeze.
Earl's high game this week at 267. As you saw, he averaged 214.1. Trying for PBA title number 42. No one's even close.
Very little time. Better shot. And trips a 6. He trips a 6 as well as Billy Hardwick used to trip that 4-pin. 5 steps. Watch how every ball is right in time. Watch the backswing. Shoulder height. The follow through is the same every time, straight up. I never see Earl hang in a ball. I never see him drop a ball. He throws everyone seemingly the same.
Here's Sykes up by 11 pins.
Right in there.
I tell you what, he's wired. Just who is the stroking machine here?
Well, right now, Les Sykes has definitely got this paired wired. Right over the second arrow, and this is just in the track all the way. Bam! 10 in the pit. Shows you how great the talent is on the PBA Tour. Here's a guy that's home most of the time. He's 48 years old. He's only won 1 title. He comes out here, and he's just whipping the best in the world right now. He's a little light and doesn't get the 10-pin out. Gives it his Donald Duck look. Kind of purses his lips there. The reason I say that is because I give it the same look, and that's what my kids and my wife always tell me, that I give it this Donald Duck look.
Donald Duck look.
Right. Cross lane at the 10-pin. Les throws basically the same shot as he does for a strike. And has it. I'll tell you what, if Earl Anthony wants to stay in this match, he better start getting back into it right now and put a double on the board right now. And there's Mary Kay on the left there, and Lyle Sykes on the right. Their daughter Lauren is also here in the audience too. And they look intense, don't they?
Yep.
I bowled Les in the match play, and I could feel them back there rooting.
Daggers
gives us some more room and gets the bad break. He gave it more room, made the good shot, and didn't get the 10-pin out. Swished that 5 right in front of the 10.
Like you and I were talking about Earl's successful championship round record of 91 and 84, but you pointed out to me that that includes 84 losses, which is probably more than anyone else has had an opportunity to lose.
I'm sure that's more than anyone else has lost on television. More than anyone else has won also. He's there every week. What are you going to do?
Well, that's a testament to how difficult it is to win on consecutive weeks on the PBA Tour. Earl Anthony's never won 3 tournaments in a row. He's won 2 in a row, 4 times, I believe. Here's the scoreboard.
And there we are, 20 pins the difference, 29 to 49. Very simple. doesn't break it up again, leaves the 6-8-10. Earl will give this a shot. In fact, I think he'll probably make it. He's just short with his shot again. He doesn't get it out to his target. Either that or it hooked early on him. And right through the nose, and he doesn't break it up again. As I said in the opening, he doesn't always have a lot of good luck on television. Made the split against me this year. Doesn't make it now, and he's open 2 out of the first 3 frames, or 2 out of the first 4 frames. And boy, he's making it easy for this.
Is it a result of the lane conditions breaking down, as you alluded to earlier? Is that possible?
It's definitely possible. I don't think so, but it's definitely possible. The lights would definitely dry it up. From the look on Earl's face, I would think that that's the situation, that the lanes have broke down a little bit. Les is right there again. Back.
Now, Les Sykes is having no trouble with the lane conditions if there's a problem there, but one of the things we mentioned with these veterans is that they're able to adjust better than any of the other bowlers.
Well, we're supposed to be able to adjust, as we see Les right over the second arrow again, as we've seen several already. 10 right in the pit. I used to play a game at home when I would practice. If I could put 10 pins in the pit, I gave myself 2 points. If I got a strike, I got 1 point. And if I didn't strike, it was -2. And the idea was to stay above 0. Les is getting a lot of 2-pointers today. Right there again. And gets the 10 out this time.
I thought he lost control of that one a little bit.
Now he got a little more loft. Didn't quite get the lift he wanted, but he got it in that track. And again, the ball in the track here, whack, it knocks him out of there.
Well, Les Sykes looking pretty good right now. Midway point of game 2. He has a 44-pin lead over Earl Anthony. So far stymied by lanes 17 and 18 here in Waukegan. We'll be back.
For 8 hours a day, we're doing what we like doing. Can't beat that. Wanna bet?
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. The rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind. So welcome to Miller Time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
In the beginning, man's feet walked free, but the road to civilization was paved, so man developed shoes. Soon after that, man developed athlete's foot. Now at last there's Mycotin. Mycotin cures athlete's foot. It's the only athlete's foot medicine you can buy with myconazole, an ingredient available for the first time without a doctor's prescription. Mycotin in spray, powder, or cream. Mycotin, the end of the road for athlete's foot.
We are USA 1. Taking charge by unleashing a Chevrolet the competition can't touch. Camaro. Flat outselling every other 2+2 sports coupe on the road today. And now Camaro is led by a new standard 5-speed 5-liter Z28. The hot-selling Chevy Camaro. It still leaves everything but its shadow behind. USA 1 is taking charge.
This will be a rugby play. There's Rogers at the outside. Pitch it back to Garner. And Garner's got no place to go and no one to pitch it to. And he's still on his feet. Game's not over yet. And here's another man. Flag is down. A flag is down. As Kevin Bowles takes it into the end zone. It is a touchdown for California. It is a touchdown. How do you like it?
Catch the spirit of college football 83 on USA, premiering September 4th. Earl Anthony trailing by 44 pins. And Mike, this early, is it a must-strike situation?
Well, it's almost. Right now, Earl's in the position, if he strikes all the way out, the best he can get is 235. That's one of them. Got to take them one at a time. But he can't get to the pocket solid. He's a little high or a little light. That's indicative. As we see this smooth approach, gives it a little more room. Now watch the head pin go to the wall and scatter him out. Had the 5, 6, 10 up there, and the head pin got them all. But that's indicative when you're a little light, a little high, that the lane is hooking early on you and then not hooking at the back end of the lane. See him talking to himself there. He's counting the boards, saying something to himself. Earl's a master at getting the ball down the lane. That's there. And doesn't get the 7 pin out. so often happens, the adjustments you make to keep the ball from going high, and then it hits weak. And that's what's really frustrating to a pro bowler. You make your shot, and the ball hooks a little early and goes high, and you get the split, and you make the adjustment and move, and then it comes in and doesn't hit the pins hard. So it's really hard to make an adjustment from there, because if he moves back left again, the ball's going to go high. And he misses a 7-pin. Well, this match is going to be history in a hurry. Earl's had better days, and he's going to be heading back to Dublin, California.
Well, you know something's not right when the master dumps one in the channel.
He misses the 7-pin. I bet he misses one 7-pin every 3 months, whether he needs it or not. But
Les Sykes is going to take a re-rack on the right lane.
He's up 56 pins. My goodness. Can increase it to 66 if he can double right here. Les trying to keep his stroke, not let the big lead affect how he throws the ball. He's right back in the pocket. Bam, solid 10. And Les, did you see him react to that? He really wanted it. He doesn't think any lead's too big to have over Earl Anthony. 56 pins ahead with 4 frames to go, and he still wanted every strike.
Mike, one of these days we're going to expose your picks prior to the TV finals for what they are. They are the kiss of death, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we won't tell them who I picked to win here.
We certainly won't, because that'll give it away.
Needless to say, though, I didn't pick Les Sykes. As he makes a 10-pin cross leg. There we see 83 in the 6th by Earl Anthony to 118 in the 5th for Sykes with a spare up in the 6th. The difference, 55 pins.
Well, these two met twice in match play. Earl defeated Les in a real shootout, 254-225. But then in a low-scoring game, Earl balled a 176, and Les Sykes dumped him for the 193.
Les right back there, solid. Almost left the 7-pin. Les just kind of shakes his head. Interestingly enough, this Les could swing. See the loft that time? To watch the 7-pin, the head pin would go up, and it was the head pin that got that 7-pin. Les was the 24th qualifier. He just snuck into the finals. And it's possible to go all the way from 24th to 1st. So more, because Earl leaves another 7-pin. Larry Lobb did it in Baltimore, I think in 1980.
Mike, do you think Johnny Petraglia, the other lefty, is worried about what he's seeing?
Well, he's got to be concerned, yes. He has to be concerned. But he's going to get, after this game is over, he's going to get 4 practice balls to come over as Earl makes the 7th. And check the lanes out for himself to see whether it's Earl or whether the lanes have changed. And I know that those 4 practice balls are so valuable at the Showboat this year in the doubles. I was all set to use one particular bowling ball, and we came over and got our 4 balls, and I took 2 of them with the ball I was intending to use, and it hooked too much, and I switched to the ball that I eventually used, and we won the tournament with.
Of course, if you throw those 4 balls and it goes all over the lane.
Well, then it's cause for concern. Earl strikes finally. Applauds himself.
Only the 2nd in 8 frames. Back to Sykes now in the 8th frame.
That's going at a 218 pace. Earl is still potential, 193. First errant shot, he just laid that ball, came off his hand a little quick, laid it short, and left the 4-7, avoided the split. All he needs to do now is fill the frames, and he's going to have his 2nd victory. Now he loses the ball here, and it's left of target, about the 12th board that time, goes high, and the 10-pin was there for a second. Something kicked it out, leaving the relatively easy 4-7. Cross lane. Has still ahead by 55. 2 frames to go.
Well, back in 1969, the Mets won the pennant, the Jets won the Super Bowl, and Les Sykes won the Waukegan Open. First prize then was $3,000. This year, first prize is $13,000.
Shows you what inflation's done.
Yeah, and it shows you how bad the Mets are still.
Better speed. Weak 10. There's Mary Kay and Lyle looking on, looking up the score. Lyle's got the score all figured out. Sometimes the wives have trouble figuring out the score real quick, and my son's a computer. I know he has it. My wife sometimes can't get it.
Well, you're going to get mail now. You opened up a Pandora's box with that one.
Well, I guess I did.
You did. Cross lane at the 10 for Les Sykes. An insurmountable lead for Earl Anthony.
54 pins down. All he can do is finish out with 193 if he could strike all the way out.
So the PBA Bowler of the Year, 74, 75, 76, 81, and 82.
Just could not figure it out. He was just a little high or a little light, and when he got it in the pocket, he left a 7-pin, and just not Earl Anthony's day.
And he is the leading candidate to win PBA Bowler of the Year again. What does he have, $40,000 more than?
Yes, right around $40,000 more than Marshall Holman right now, and he's going to add to that total here. As he chops the 3 right off the 5.
Third open frame for Anthony.
And as it's been said before, that only a mediocre player can't have a bad day. So Earl Anthony just having a tremendously bad game. 150 if he spare strikes. Could strike out for 160. Finishing it out, and I don't even know what pin that is.
What? If that's not indicative of how this game has gone. Watch this pin bounce around. It moves over about 4 or 5 inches by the time it's over.
It sure did. It looked like the ball hit it, and then something else hit it to stand it up. If he makes it, whatever it was the 9 pin, I guess. Earl very gracious in defeat, smiles. Boy, it's hot out there. He's really perspiring, too. Boom. 150 even. Wow. Well, I get the start of this game, Les Sykes never figured it would be this easy against Earl Anthony. And some of those young players were saying last week, well, that's just what we shot. I mean, Les goes high, leaves the 6, 7, 10. It's possible the lights are drying it up on the right side now, too. Be interesting to see if Les takes some practice shots in between after this game. He didn't practice at all after the last game.
Earl Anthony will pocket $4,500. Jimmy Certain got $4,000. Les Sykes' amount is still young.
And so what that does, that gets him another practice shot anyway on that right leg.
He's saying, oh, shucks, Earl, I'm sorry.
Because really, I'm not pouring it on, Earl. You know, it's not like Nebraska and Penn State. And the dinner bucket. 210 he finishes with.
Well, strange but true. Les Sykes moves on in his hunt to recapture the Waukegan Open title for 1983. 210 to 150. He defeats Earl Anthony and moves on to face Tom Baker of Buffalo, New York. The PBA continues in a moment.
After you win a tough race, you want to take it easy, but you don't want to slow down.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. The rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind. So welcome to Miller Time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
In our world of endless imagination, anything can happen. And those of you who wear Levi's jeans know what I'm talking about. Because anywhere our minds can go, we can follow too. Go ahead, chase a dream. In Levi's jeans.
Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge with Chevy S10, the hottest selling new size pickup in America, with available V6 power, revolutionary Instatrack four-wheel drive, and up to twice as much towing capacity as any import pickup. Taking charge with much better V6 mileage estimates than Ranger. S10 pickup, maxi cab, and Blazer. Now, choose 10.9% financing or $300 cash back on new 83 S10 pickups and maxi cabs. Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge.
In the beginning, man's feet walked free, but the road to civilization was paved, so man developed shoes. Soon after that, man developed athlete's foot. Now at last there's Mycotin. Mycotin cures athlete's foot. It's the only athlete's foot medicine you can buy with myconazole, an ingredient available for the first time without a doctor's prescription. Mycotin in spray, powder, or cream. Mycotin, the end of the road for athlete's foot.
The PBA Tour has been stopping in Waukegan, Illinois since 1964. Al Trautwig along with Mike Durbin, and this is the 1983 version of the Waukegan Open for $100,000. After 42 long games, Mike, it was Petraglia, Baker, Anthony, Zykes, and Certain. But who after them?
Well, in sixth place was the 81 champion, Ted Hannes. Pete Weber finished seventh. Bobby Knippel was eighth. Alan Granite, making it second finals in a row, was ninth. My doubles partner, Gil Sliker, finished 10th. Richie Sajak was 11th. Steve Gilgem finished 12th. Charlie Taft in 13th place. Steve Wunderlich, 14th. Darwin Skernecki finished 15th. Brian Voss in 16th. Rich Gradley in 17th. Yours truly there snuck into 18th. Randy Lightfoot finished 19th. Tom Laskow was 20th. Another former Waukegan Open champion, Wayne Webb, finished 21st. Jim Wolf in his first PBA finals, 22nd. John Force, 23rd, and Ray Shackelford finished 24th.
And that will wrap up the PBA Summer Tour. And here's how the prize money is broken down in this $100,000 event. First place is good for a very lucky $13,000. Second place, $7,500. Third, $5,500. Fourth place is $4,500. And fifth is $4,000.
In our leaders round by round, in the first round, Tom Laskow was ahead. Pete Weber took over in the second round. Tom Baker on our show today was the leader after round 3. Then Johnny Petraglia took over in the finals and led in rounds 4, 5, and 6.
Well, marksmanship has been the topic of Mike Durbin's bowling tips over the past few weeks. Let's see what Mike Durbin has in store for us this week in Waukegan. Mike?
Last week, we looked at how to make the single pin spares on the right side of the lane, namely the 6-pin and then the 10-pin. Today, we're going to look at the corresponding single pin spares on the left side of the lane, first the 4-pin and then the 7-pin. You remember the target that we used to shoot the 6 and the 10 was basically right around the third arrow. However, I recommend in shooting the spares on the left side of the lane that you use your strike target and you move right. The question remains, however, how far right do I move? Well, let's suppose, I'll give you an example here. Let's suppose I'm standing for a strike right here in the middle of the approach on board 20, and I'm aiming 2 boards left of the second arrow at board 12, and I leave the 4-pin. To make that 4-pin, I move 8 boards to the right. Now, over to this dot would be 5, then 6, 7, and 8. Now, again, I want to follow all the same basic principles that I outlined last week. Remember, the first of those was that spares on the right side of the lane, I move left. Spares on the left side of the lane, I move right. Now, I've got my spot here. I just want to relax, walk right straight toward my target with a nice loose swing and a good follow-through, and I should make it. Hopefully. Again now, I set myself up here, the 8 boards right. Set myself up here. I'm going to walk right towards that target with a nice loose swing. And there's the 4-pin, almost dead center. Well, what about the 7-pin? Well, I'll show you how to make that one too. Again, we come back to where I was standing for the strike, right on board 20. My target out there was board 12, and I leave the 7-pin. I move to the right, this time 12 boards. Over to this dot would be 10. 2 more is 12. Again, I'm going to walk right towards that target, I'm going to have a nice loose swing and a good follow-through, and hopefully that ball should walk right into the 7th pin. Here I am, set it up. Just relaxed. I look at that target and just go right at it. And there's the 7th pin. An important thing to remember as you watch our shows on the USA Network is that many of the tournaments you see won or lost are won or lost because somebody did or did not make a supposedly easy spare. We'll see you again next week.
Bowlers who were able to convert those spares make money. Here's who's winning how much so far. Earl Anthony's number one, $131,000. Followed by Marshall Holman, Tom Milton, Joe Berardi from Brooklyn, Don Janello of North Merrick, who's out after kidney surgery. We don't look to see him until 1984, but our best wishes to him. Mike Durbin's in 6th, Pete Couture is 7th, Pete Weber 8th, Henry Gonzalez and Gary Skidmore wrap up the top 10.
Former Waukegan Open champions, we started in 64 with Pete Thomas. Some other notable ones, Les Zykes in 69, Nelson Burton Jr. in 72. Earl Anthony took over from 75 through 77. Wayne Webb in 79 and 82. And Ted Hannis won in 1981.
A lot of people help us out on the PBA Tour, but one sometimes stands out more than the rest. He's Phil Ferguson, and I had a chance to talk to him earlier. How do you follow the PBA Tour? Well, if you're one of the thousands who follow it on radio or television, you can thank Phil Ferguson in part. He's the PBA Tour's broadcast director. Now, Phil, I see you running around. You make lots of phone calls. You have a tape recorder and lots of other things. But what are you doing with all that?
First of all, my main objective out here on tour is to try and get out as much information on the Professional Bowlers Association as possible. And this would be through the TV media, radio media, also newspaper media. And together, Dennis Buden and myself, we do a pretty good job for just the two of us, if I may say so.
I think you do, too. You help me out a great deal. How many weeks a year are you away from home?
It's about 36 weeks out of the year, and the remainder of the time we spend in the home office. I try to get out there pretty quickly, and the commissioner, Joe Antonora, is very good at that. He knows we're out here a long time, and so he gives us most of the time off so I can play golf and do a lot of fun things.
Well, you do get a lot of golf in, but what type of life is that for a young single guy?
It's not bad, however, the hours are pretty long. The people that we meet, it's very beneficial to me. I'd like to someday possibly get into the radio and TV end of it, possibly like yourself, and hopefully this will be a boost for me.
Now, you and Dennis are into the computer age. You carry a computer around with you. How much do you use it, and what do you use it for?
We use it very much. In fact, it gives us all our statistics on the Professional Bowlers Tour, how the players are doing, and we in turn put this information into a packet and give it to yourself or to ABC, Nelson Burton Jr., and you would use this information in helping you also.
In your eyes, what type of year has it been for the PBA?
It has been an up and down year. It's been a very exciting year. We've had quite a lot of excitement. Jimmy Pritz, of course, beat Don Janello in probably one of the most unspectacular finishes or spectacular finishes I've ever seen. And also a couple of weeks ago, we had a very low-scoring title match, 157 to 156, Dennis Jakes, and that was the lowest score that was won on tour to win a championship ever in the PBA history. Marshall Holman came out of his slump. He had gone over 2 years without winning. He won back-to-back and almost made it 3 in a row. Earl Anthony has been up and down. He looks like he's going to be Bowler of the Year again. It's been a very exciting year, and I'm really happy to be associated with the PBA.
Well, Phil, on behalf of all of us at USA, thanks to you and Dennis for your help.
Thank you very much, Alan.
We'll wrap up the PBA Summer Tour on USA by stopping in Canton, Ohio next week for one of the most entertaining stops of the year. That's the PBA Seniors Championship. It'll come your way on USA September 7th. And next week, we'll be telling you which dates and which events to be looking forward to as we cover the fall tour of the PBA. In the meantime, it's time to get back to bowling, and we'll get to that right after these messages on USA.
Playboy. It brings you the best of everything. Behind the pages of Playboy, you'll find the authors who create the best sellers.
Do you think you've had a fear of success?
Interviewers who reveal the person behind the personality.
But I don't anymore.
Award-winning sports analysts and forecasters who give you an up-close look at the teams, the players, and all the action. Playboy's cartoonists point out the humor in today's world with a rare mix of art and wit. And then there's Playboy's photographers, masters at capturing the sensuous beauty of the world's most breathtaking women.
Lift the shoulder just slightly. Good. Let's do it.
Playboy also tips you off to the latest styles, tunes you into the hottest sounds, and stirs your spirit of adventure with exciting new ideas. Informative, entertaining, and provocative. Playboy, the one magazine that gives you a monthly ticket to the best of the good life. And right now, you can get 12 months of Playboy delivered right to you for only $18.50. That's half the newsstand price. So enjoy the very best, the wit, wisdom, and imagination of today's most creative people. Become a Playboy subscriber and step into the exciting world of Playboy. To order your subscription, here's all you do.
Just phone toll free. 1-800-USA-1000. Call now and get 12 issues of Playboy for only $18.50. Save $18.50 off the $37 newsstand price. So act now. Phone toll free. 1-800-USA-1000. That's toll free. 1-800-USA-1000.
Having eliminated Jimmy Certain and the great Earl Anthony, 48-year-old Les Sykes moves on. He faces the youngest member of the top 5 here in Waukegan, Tom Baker of Buffalo, New York. And Mike, Tom, having not won this year, probably wants this as much as Les Sykes does.
I'm sure he does. Maybe not quite as much as Les does, because Les hasn't won in 14 years. But Tom hasn't won this year. I know he wants a victory badly. He's bowled super all week. He almost caught Johnny Petraglia last night, just fell short. So he's got the ball for the lanes. He'll be hooking the ball a little bit more than Les, playing probably a board or two deeper and covering, circling the ball a little bit more. But he's bowled just great all week. It depends whether these lights have affected the lanes and they're hooking a little bit earlier now.
Well, instead of guessing as to what Tom Baker might be thinking, let's find out. Earlier, I had a chance to talk with Tom Baker. At age 28, Tom Baker is the youngest member of the final 5 here in Waukegan. Tom, the other 4 bowlers have a lot of experience. They're all great veterans. 3 of them are Hall of Famers. I'm wondering if you're intimidated by any of them.
No, I'm not intimidated at all by the older players. They all have years of experience, and they're going back into the 1960s. They're where Les Sykes, one of their bowlers that are bowling today, has won. So they do have all experience, but I want to win this tournament just as bad as they do, and I don't think I'm going to let that experience get in my way today.
Tom, you've won 5 PBA titles, 3 in 3 consecutive appearances for you back in 1981. I'm sure you're a firm believer that when you get hot on the PBA Tour, it's to your great advantage.
Right, I'm kind of what they call a streak player, and when I get it going, I can keep it going. And hopefully today, I hope I can get that streak going and win today.
What's 1983 been like for you?
Well, this year has been, it's been a so-so year for me, but it's been up and down. I had bowled good in the winter tour where I made 3 television appearances and I bowled well. And the summer has been a downfall. The summer I've slumped off a little bit, only made a couple finals, and it's been so-so. So I had a good winter and a bad summer, and hopefully it would be nothing more than end of summer with the win today.
Well, certainly something went right for you this week in Waukegan. Were you able to pinpoint any mistakes that you were making?
Well, I feel like I've been bowling pretty good lately. Thing is, I haven't been scoring well, and there's 2 different sides of the story there. Where I think the lane procedure that they have here is got me confused a little bit, or I haven't adjusted to it. But whatever it is, this week here, it seemed like they put a little more oil on the lanes, which is more conducive to the way I throw the ball, because I do throw it slow.
So it's not a matter of high scoring, it's just a matter of being consistent.
Being consistent, that's Tom Baker's game, is being steady.
Tom Baker says he's a streak bowler. He'll need a streak of only 2 games to win the 1983 Waukegan Open, hoping he can halt the sentimental journey of Les Sykes here in Game 3. Well, Mike, it'll be interesting to see how 2 right-handers fare on these 2 mystical lanes, 17 and 18.
Right, and what was interesting is we were talking about Johnny Petraglia coming over and getting these 4 practice shots in between. He waived them. He did not take the 4 practice shots. Les, good speed on that first shot. Right back in there. He's got to keep that speed firm, just like that.
Probably can't feel much better than Les feels right now.
Well, this is the big game. Get by this game, and then you bowl for the title. And if they're not really good on the left, as we see that ball just carried beautifully, then Les would have a great chance.
How about his grip, Mike?
Well, he fiddles with the ball and spreads that index finger out. gets good turn. Watch this turn. It always makes it back. And usually it carries that weak 10 hit. He just has remarkable carry. The ball never seems to make violent moves. He's very smooth. 5 steps, ball right in place. See the left arm out for balance. The follow through straight up. Perfect. Look at the balance. He's right in balance on 1 foot there. He just makes shot after shot after shot, just like that.
With his fingers bent like that, does he get a better feel of the spin on the ball when he releases it, or what?
Well, his fingers are not actually bent. It just appears that way as he's sticking them in the holes there. You want to get the lift off the pads of your fingers as your thumb leaves the ball, and you lift the ball with the pads of your middle 2 fingers and put that rotation on the ball. Tom has a great hand release. That's probably the best part of his game is his hand release.
Here's a look at that grip of Tom Baker.
He fiddles to get those fingers in the ball just right, and he takes a lot of time. It doesn't feel right. He'll just play with it forever. See, he spreads that index finger. Now, he has a callus right there where that wrist support is, right at the base of that index finger. He has a callus. Puts a lot of pressure there. See, get that 10 pin out that time? He does that time after time after time after time again.
Let's watch him carry that 10 pin.
And you'll see, watch the 6 pin. Second one from the right. As the ball deflects, that 6 pin stayed low and snapped that 10 right out there. Now, Les had trouble with this lane toward the end of the second game. Better speed. Perfect shot. Just got to keep that speed up. Got to keep that speed up. Stays right in that track. Les is just bowling as well as I've ever seen him. Now watch the loft. Out, way out on the lane. All he can leave here is a solid 7. And the 2 pin gets that 7. Immediately takes a 10 pin lead, but Baker's got the pocket. So right now, I'll tell you, this could be a real good match.
Strange in that Les does not continue on the follow through. He almost brings it to an abrupt halt, and his hand flies out.
His follow throughs vary, and you can tell a lot of times what he's going to do by watching that follow through. It's a little light. And he gets the swisher! Great! Oh! Tight this time. I know Lyle and Mary Kay and Lauren are sitting back there, and the butterflies are building in their stomachs. Les seems just as cool as can be. Baker is one of the best, though, at answering challenges. I had 4 in a row against him yesterday, and he didn't have a double, and he beat me easy, so he can come back. Brings it out. Perfect. Great shot. Just a little deeper than Sykes. Arcing the ball a little bit more. Same result. Baker very cool under pressure. There we see it. 30 in the first with 3 in a row for Sykes. 20 in a double working. The difference 10 pins right now. Baker can even it up if he can get one more here. Fiddles with those fingers to get him in there just right. In and out, in and out. Finally gets it. Has his left hand underneath his right there. Tense concentration. Here it comes, light. Oh, that would have carried 8 out of 10 times for Baker. I've never seen him leave a wall shot 5-7 like that. The pins just fell funny. They just fell funny for him. Watch the head pin go to the wall, Alan. It'll go to the wall, comes back, hits the 4, and the 4 usually hit the 5 here. It misses it, and then the head pin is spinning around there and misses them both. 5-7, got to hit the 5 pin thin on the right, slide it into the 7, aiming at about 1/4 of an inch from 60 feet away. Oh, it's there. Oh, it just slid by. I thought he had it. And he's open, and Sykes is way out in front again. 26 pins ahead with 3 in a row working. Baker shakes his head and says, how can that 5-7 have stood? What a bad break. Sykes right now, though, can apply the crushing blow if he can just keep that string going. He's got to keep his speed up. He did. He did. And, oh. He gave it a board room, and it just would not make it back. And he almost got the 5-7 off the wall, but he got the 5 out of there. Makes the spare to be a 25-pin lead. Relatively easy 7-pin. Cross lane, he'll move to the right. Scoots over a little bit more. Sets himself carefully here. Has the spare. Gives him 79 in the third, spare up in the fourth.
Pin lead for Les Sykes in the 5th.
This left lane, he's just been murdering all day long.
In Tom Baker's home city of Buffalo, Les finished 85th.
I crossed with him that week, and he had a lot of trouble. It's right there. Right there. Perfect. Oh!
And it's a happy moment for now for Mary Kay, Lyle and Lauren, and the entire Sykes family. Let's see what happens as a very interesting story is being written in Waukegan. A 25-pin lead for Les Sykes in Game 3 of the 1983 Waukegan Open. We'll be back.
We are USA 1, taking charge with tough, easy-to-own transportation like Chevy Chevette. While Ford's 83 base Escort suggested retail price went up, the lowest price Chevy Chevette held the line. In fact, this two-door Chevette is priced over $600 less than Escort L two-door. And Chevette has millions more owner-driven miles behind it. Chevy Chevette, from America's sales leader. Now, choose 10.9% financing or $300 cash back on new 83 Chevy Chevettes.
One of my bigger days. Let me buy a beer. Sure. These fans, I love them. When I came in, they didn't recognize me at first, but then when I told them who I was, next thing you know, they're buying me my favorite beer, light beer from Miller. They know us ex-big leaguers drink light because it's got a third less calories than their regular beer. It's less filling, and it tastes great. Thanks.
Hey, it's a pleasure to buy a beer for a great pitcher like Whitey Ford.
Hey.
So I lied. Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Hey, Whitey, I thought you were a lefty. Oh, that's right.
I wear my marigold everywhere.
Marigold, the only jewelry that is as intimate as your skin. Marigold is a 24-karat gold finish that will never peel, tarnish, or discolor, and it's hypoallergenic. The Marigold Designer Collection is only available through this exclusive television offer. Each collection includes one 16-inch herringbone chain and one 18-inch herringbone chain, which can be worn separately or together. Also included is one pair of beautifully tailored love knot earrings and one pair of designer hoop earrings, all in a specially designed travel case. The Marigold collection weighs 14.5 pennyweight. An equivalent collection of pure gold would retail for over $700. Each collection is registered and is accompanied by a lifetime guarantee. Order now and receive this beautiful matching bracelet free. Call today, 1-800-USA-1000, or send $19.95 to Marigold, P.O. Box 49648, Atlanta, Georgia.
Tom Baker will want to make his move right now.
And see that towel he's playing with? He's one of the few bowlers on the tour that uses a wet towel. He likes a wet towel, that feel on his hand. Personally, I can't think of anything more repulsive when I'm bowling than have a wet towel there, but Tom likes that feel.
Well, mostly old bowlers fight an agonizing battle to stay dry.
Right.
Baker down by 25 in the 5th.
Gives it a lot of room. Just did not make it back. He didn't get the lift on that one and threw it wide. Leaves the 2-4-5.
Maybe there's a secret developed in these lanes that Les Sykes knows about that Tom Baker doesn't know about.
Well, I keep looking up at that banner, 1969 Waukegan PBA champion Les Sykes. And is it going to be 1983? The question mark over there, just wondering whether it's going to be Les Sykes again. Baker is a good spare shooter, as slow as he throws the ball. Has it. He says to himself, come on. He has two towels there, one for his hand and one that he uses to wipe the oil or the dressing off of his bowling ball with. Notice that he doesn't get the wet towel on the ball, but he takes the dry one. There we see the difference. 99 in the fourth with a strike working for Zykes. 74 in the fourth with a spare up for Baker. The difference, 25 pins.
Here, the defense for Les Sykes is a great offense.
It's always true in bowling. Right, 2, 4, 5, 7. Much more difficult spare with that 7 pin in there. Plus, he loses 4 pins in count, and that light 5-7 that he's left seems to have unnerved Tom Baker. Now he's shaking his head. This one he thinks he throws pretty well, and the ball goes further here. Should make a move here and keep sliding. Much more difficult with that 7 pin in there. And he's in trouble. Makes it perfect. Boy, thought it was going to hook there, and it just kept going straight.
Baker sits down. Now the deficit 29 pins.
Right, with Zykes on a strike. Again, he's in a position now that he can apply the crushing blow, just really put his opponent down. He's got him down. He can just stomp on him now. Bounces that ball. It's there. Oh, solid. And he stopped a little bit. Shuffle those feet there.
Well, the first tournament that Les Sykes won was in 1949, the first tournament of note. And he teamed with his father, Les Sykes Sr., to win the regional tournament in Peoria, Illinois. Here he is in 1983 with his son Lyle watching in the background.
And Lyle looks as intent as I've ever seen him. And I saw him raise his foot up there. He grabbed his left hamstring like maybe he pulled something there. I sure hate to see anything like that happen at this stage of the game. He's there again. Oh, boy. Whoa.
I don't think he pulled a hamstring, Mike. I think he's just pulling the string.
Boy, this is how to put your opponent who is down out and away. 49 pins ahead with 4 frames to go. Baker's still potential. 230 goes all the way, and there's one of them.
Tom needed that one for sure.
Well, he needs them all right now. He's just in a must-strike situation. He's in the 8th frame. Strike up. He's down by 49 pins. The best he can get is 230 if he strikes all the way out. Les Sykes right now is going in a 239 pace. If he would spare strike, as we see the score right there, and it tells the story. Baker's in a very bad position, but all you can do is strike it yourself. And gets the 10 pin on there. A little love tap there. He says, all right, that's one of them. Cuts it down to 39. Keeps a little pressure on Zykes as he lifts that left foot up again.
Probably the first break Tom's got.
Yes, it is the first break. But watch the 6 pin. The ball deflected. Watch it deflect. And the 6 pin just leans on the 10. As Billy Whaley used to say, it's the tender touch. Wes a little light. Weak 10. Wes shows a little disgust there. He looks a lot different than Marshall Holman, isn't he? Yeah. In a contrast. It's his big disgust there. Marshall is much more animated.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being 48, but I think if he ran around the way Marshall did,
he might not make it through 4 games. Cross lane at the 10 pin. He's got to keep his concentration up here. No mistakes. And ooh, holds on. Little smile, little sheepish smile. Cuts it down to 38 pins. But right now, even if Les strikes here in the 9th frame, Baker can strike out to force him to mark. So the match is still up. Les not striking there. Bowling can turn around so fast when your opponent starts throwing strikes.
Les inducted into the ABC Bowling Hall of Fame this year.
He's just nailed this left lane all day long. It's a little light. And gets a wall shot. He puts his left hand up on his head. Says, all right. A little wide this time. Watch the hit pin. Go to the wall. Come back and clean everything up at 4-5-7. Baker again in a must-strike situation. He has to strike out to force Les to mark. One at a time. He's short, left to target, right through the nose, leaves a 4-7, and Les Zykes is going to meet Johnny Petraglia for the Waukegan Open title. Baker just didn't have it today. That bad break he got back in the fourth frame really turned the match around. He could have evened the match at that time. He got the wall shot 5-7 and fell 26 pins behind. Makes the 4-7. Gives him 158 in the 8th, the spare up in the 9th. The best he can get is 208. Les Zykes has 208 right now if he doesn't show up for the 10th frame.
What he must be thinking.
Well, he's thinking, I got to keep it together for one more game. That's what he's thinking. Make good shots for one more game. Baker finishing it out on lane 17. Trips the 4-pin out of there. Now when it doesn't matter. Tom is just has that great soft speed, and he gets a lot of hits like that where he trips that 4-pin with the 6, leans on the 10. Tom's disappointed, I know, but there'll be many days ahead for Tom Baker. 5. Trips the 4-pin out again. Now when it doesn't matter, he smiles and thinks, well, that shot in the 9th frame, one he needed, put some heat on Zykes. Finishes it out. 206. Very respectable game. 6 strikes. Split in the 4th frame. Les just trying to maintain the stroke. He bends that knee again. He did do something. I don't know what he did. Wants to keep his concentration. Keep it up into the next game. Right there. Bam.
If he's hurt, it doesn't matter. Mike, I just looked up his horoscope because things seem to be falling so crazily into place for him. Just for grins. And it says that his spiritual values command much attention and may cause you to revise previous opinions. Well, if he didn't think he had the ability to win this one, that opinion has changed.
Going for one more. Right there. Bam. Solid 10. He's going to finish with 247 if he makes the 10 pin. If he makes this, he has 706 for the 3 games, a 235 average. Not bad for a 48-year-old. Not bad for a 28-year-old or an 18-year-old. And misses the 10 pin.
Well, a crazy way to end it, but Les Zykes is a big winner anyway. 246 to 206. Tom Baker is gone. Johnny Petraglia is left. Will it be a happy ending to the Les Zykes fairy tale? We'll see when we return to Waukegan after this.
A double play. Anyone who pitches for a living loves a beautifully turned twin killing. Hi, this is Tom Seaver for the Sporting News, and we have a twin killing for you. 2 issues for the price of 1 to introduce you to the Sporting News, the Sports Bible. That's right, you'll get 26 issues of the Sporting News for just $9.99. 2 for the price of 1. And you can't buy the Sporting News for a lower price anywhere. It's the magazine that gives me the no-nonsense details of all Major League sports and college action. To love sports is to love the Sporting News, the Sports Bible. Why don't you subscribe today, and here's a friend to tell you how.
That's right, Tom. You get the sporting news at the low rate of 38 cents an issue. 26 issues for $9.99. That's half the regular subscription price. Call toll-free 1-800-USA-1000. In Georgia, 1-800-222-7272. That's 1-800-USA-1000. In Georgia, 1-800-222-7272.
It's Parrish versus Parrish in Game 1 of 2 key contests on the next edition of USA's Thursday Night Baseball. Larry and the Texas Rangers look to outslug Lance and the Detroit Tigers in a must game for both clubs. Then it's on to Oakland, where the streaking New York Yankees try to steal one from the speedy A's. Stay with the red-hot pennant races on USA's Thursday Night Baseball at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. May not be seen in some areas.
I'm Elizabeth Rollins from USA Hotspots, and as you can see, we're taking a short vacation, but don't worry, we'll be back on the road scouting out more hot groups all around the country. We'll be back on Labor Day with a special encore performance of The Edge and Bonnie Hayes and the Wild Combo at the Echo Beach Club in San Francisco. That's Monday night, September 5th, 10 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you then.
They got a word for girls like me. They got a name, but they don't want to use it.
It's 36-year-old Johnny Petraglia and Les Sykes, 48 years old, bowling one game for $13,000. The loser will receive $7,500. Either way, Les Sykes will win more money tonight than he has in 1983 and 82 combined. And hanging in the darkness, 6 lanes to our left, is the 1969 championship banner for Les Sykes. This is 14 years later, and he's hoping that he can put his name up on the wall here at Bertrand Lanes in Waukegan one more time. And he's one game away from doing just that. Standing in his way is Johnny Petraglia, who has his own reasons for wanting to win here, wanting to prove that he can do it himself one more time as well. Earlier I talked to him. Johnny Petraglia, we've been mentioning your name a lot in recent weeks. Marshall Holman attempted to go for 3 titles in a row. That's something you accomplished, only one of 3 bowlers to do it back in 1971. Can you recount what the pressure was like for you to do that back then?
Well, the pressure not only to win 3 in a row, but because it was the Tournament of Champions, it just seemed like a dream come true. When the last game started, I was bowling against Don Johnson, who, in my opinion, is still the toughest on TV. And I was so nervous that I felt like, boy, I hope he bowls a bad game rather than me have to bowl a good one. Fortunately, he didn't have a really good shot on the pair, and he didn't bowl too good a game, so it eased up the pressure a little bit, but something I'll never forget, Al.
Johnny, as a result of winning the Tournament of Champions and the PBA National, your last victory in 1980, you've certainly established yourself as one of the great bowlers. Last week, we had some very frustrating games for a bunch of bowlers out here. I'm wondering what the worst experience you had on TV was.
The worst experience that I had? Well, the worst experience I ever had really doesn't pertain to bowling, in a sense. But it did happen in 1980 when I won the Nationals. A few years before, I had done a lot of work with Jesse Owens in VA hospitals and stuff like that, and we've become pretty good friends. And then during the break, right after I won the tournament, they had mentioned that Jesse Owens had cancer. And when they came back on the air 2 minutes later, they couldn't understand why I wasn't happy, because they had told me during the 2-minute break that we were away. And trying to figure out how to act happy right after winning the tournament was the toughest thing that ever happened to me.
Well, it's been a long 3 years since 1980, I'm sure. What's your inspiration, or even though it's obvious, but in your own words, for winning tonight?
Well, it was very important to lead again. After 3 years, you're starting to wonder and question your own talent, whether you can lead a tournament again or not. I'm glad that that's over. To win the tournament is, of course, very important, but also to have Baker in second place and Earl in third 12 years ago, when you mentioned the 3 that I won, the first one that I won, I beat Earl in the title game by 8 pins, and it's always fun to bowl against guys like that.
This is Bill Kennedy. Sunday at 3 a.m., he stopped bowling after 161 hours, 911 games, 112,402 pins with an average of 123. That puts him in the Guinness Book of Records. Crazy, but true.
I don't even want to think about it. How many hours was that?
161 hours.
How many days is that?
Much too many days.
Back to the business at hand. The crowd is still murmuring as Les steps up to throw his first shot. I would never throw right now myself if I were bowling. I would sit back and wait to make this crowd quiet down.
Les is going right for it.
Boy, it's tough to pick a sentimental favorite in this game.
Yes, both players are that way. Good speed. Oh, high. Breaks up the spare. Split. Leaves only the 6-10. He turned the ball over just a little bit. His thumb went down at the point of release. I really think it's because the crowd's murmuring and everything behind him. He broke his concentration just a little bit.
I thought he got a break for a moment. I thought it was going to be 6-7-10.
Yeah, he did get a break, breaking up the split. 6-10 is no guaranteed spare. Cross lane at the 6-10. Every spare is important here. Uh-oh. Slides by. The first chink in the armor. 9 in the first frame. Gives Petraglia an opening right away. As we see him shooting the spare. Just didn't get the lift. It slipped right by. We saw him miss the 10-pin at the end of that last game. I'm sure he was thinking about that. Petraglia very intent. Good speed. Right back to the 4-7.
Let's see if Johnny Petraglia, the second southpaw that we've seen, Earl Anthony the other, has the same problems that Earl Anthony had.
See how he holds the ball down 5 steps out back. Shoulder opens up, then closes. Watch the follow through straight out. On balance there, arm out for balance. Ball hooked early on him and went high. Makes the 4-7 on the right.
Petraglia, the second youngest. Baker was 28. Petraglia is 36. He's looking to win his 15th PBA title. His career championship round record is 37-38. 48 TV appearances. He'll either drop 2 games below 500 or even it off with a win.
High again, leaves a baby split. The particular ball that Johnny is using this week is a urethane bowling ball. As we get a chance to see this in replay again, the ball hooks early on him, goes right through the heart of the pins, leaves the 2-7, the baby split. The Brunswick Corporation has a Luster King machine that waxes the ball. Before this tournament started, he put it in there for 2 hours just to keep it from hooking. Makes the baby split. Does it perfectly. A lot of speed here. Good loft. Hits the 2-pin on the left. It bounces into the 7. Can't do it any better. Les needs to forget that first frame and start over again. Crowd is quiet now. It's back in the pocket. Gets that 10-pin out of there. He didn't know where the 10 would carry. He kind of went, ooh, but it carried.
I like it.
Les definitely seems to be the sentimental favorite of the crowd here. Now watch the ball here. Right over about the 12th board. Watch the 6-pin. Second one from the right. Just nudges that 10 out of there. Big shot for Les right here.
He's trying to do it the hard way, winning 4 games en route to the title.
Big shot for him right here. He can put himself a pin ahead, make up for that open, put himself right back in the match for the double. Needs to keep the speed up. And he gets a break! What a break! Oh, he tripped the 4 and the pin rolled over and hit the 6. What a break for Zykes.
Well, this was extraordinary.
So we see it here. It's going to go high. He's a little soft. The 2-pin hits the 4, and the 4 rolls over and hits the 6. He could have had the 4-6, and he gets a double to take the lead. Petraglia's been high twice. Anthony had trouble. Gives this one more room. 6-pin. Good shot. Just hooked a little bit early. He's throwing extremely hard to try and keep that ball from hooking early on. John is a master, though, at picking up the speed on that ball. I've seen him win tournaments where he just really was throwing that ball hard. For a little guy, he can really muscle it down there. Takes no time shooting the 6-pin. Has the spare. Still looking for his first strike. He's down 2 pins, heading for the 4th frame.
How fortunate Les Sykes is.
We see the scoreboard there, 37 with a spare up in the 3rd. Sykes with 9 in the 1st with double working, the difference 2 pins. And John looks down right now.
Johnny's won some big ones. National Championship in '79, Firestone in '75, and the U.S. Open in '77. He's a Hall of Famer.
Won all 3 of those major tournaments. Quote, triple crown of bowling. Light doesn't make it. There's the frustrating part. The ball goes high. He makes the adjustment and leaves the 3-5. And when that happens to a professional bowler, it does tricks on his mind. This time he just gives a little more room, good speed, and it won't make it back. He says, what do I do now? What's the adjustment? Right now he has to make the spare.
He has 6 frames to find out what the adjustment is.
Makes the 3-5, but he's falling further behind, 4 pins behind now. Right now Sykes is facing a lot of pressure. He wants to win so badly, but he must keep his speed up. He softens up in the speed and the ball can go high. Kept his speed up really great in the last match. There it is, right there. Oh, solid. Great speed on that shot.
Mike, I have to tell you, I feel really great watching this. It really is a lot of fun.
Almost like the seniors last year, huh?
Yep.
Just 2 years away from the seniors. He almost leaves a solid 7 on this shot. He throws it so well. The 2-pin goes flying to the wall. He just gets that 7. $14 pins ahead. Can increase it to 24. Light comes up, gets the 10th pin out of there. No emotion.
Oh, but there was emotion from Mary Kay, his wife, and his son Lyle. They're living and breathing every shot with 48-year-old Les Sykes. Palatine, Illinois. We're at the midway point of a very exciting championship match. 24-pin lead for Les Sykes. We'll see if he fulfills the dream in a moment.
We are USA 1, and proving it in Chevy Cavalier. Cavalier's high compression 2-liter engine with electronic fuel injection gives you more power than the 3 leading imports. And even though Cavalier sedan is shorter outside than Honda Accord sedan, it gives you 6 cubic feet more passenger room inside, plus more room in the trunk. Chevy Cavalier, from America's sales leader, USA 1, is taking charge.
I'll tell you, trying to get cultured isn't easy. We just went to the opera and we didn't understand a word.
Yeah, but that big guy in those tights sure could sing.
Well, at least we still drink a very civilized beer. Light beer from Miller. Light tastes great.
But us impresarios drink it because it's less filling.
We can't afford to get filled up. Tomorrow night, we're going to the ballet.
Yeah, I sure hope they do it in English.
Me too.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
In the beginning, man's feet walked free, but the road to civilization was paved, so man developed shoes. Soon after that, man developed athlete's foot. Now at last there's Mycotin. Mycotin cures athlete's foot. It's the only athlete's foot medicine you can buy with myconazole, an ingredient available for the first time without a doctor's prescription. Mycotin in spray, powder, or cream. Mycotin, the end of the road for athlete's foot.
You know, for my money, every pair of slacks ought to be this comfortable. These are Levi's Action slacks. I own 4 pair now, and I'm convinced they may be the most comfortable slacks a man can wear. First, they have a hidden stretch waistband. It's a great invention. Second, the fabric gives for even more comfort. And now Levi's Action slacks are stay pressed. A washable permanent press that really stays pressed. You try them.
Johnny Petraglia.
Trying to figure it out, Alan. That's what he's doing. He's just shaking his head and he does not know what to do. He knows that Sykes is going to bowl a good score, a high score again. He has to start throwing strikes. He says, how do I do it?
Sykes has thrown 4 strikes in a row. Petraglia has yet to throw one.
He's down 24 pins. Great speed that time. Solid. He says, all right. The This left lane, though, he went from baby split to 3-5, and yet he picked a finish on this lane. Watch the tremendous loft and speed. Wham! And John is in a must-strike situation. 75 in the fourth with a strike up in the fifth. Sykes was 69 in the third and a double working the difference, 24 pins. John can cut it back to 14 and really put some pressure on Sykes if he can strike here. He just couldn't help. There was the adjustment back again from the 3-5. The ball hooked early on him. It's 4-6, and this match may be history. John switches to another ball here. He's just short with that shot, a hair, and gets 8 out. He tried for it. He went all the way. He had to, of course. 93-101 in the sixth, and Les Sykes is in a commanding position. 38 pins ahead again. Can increase it to 48 if he can get one more.
His insides are probably all upside down, but you'd never know it looking at him.
Has that poker face. It's right there, right there. Wow. What a performance. 48 years old. He's just throwing one strike right after another. That question mark down there on the 1983 banner is being answered. I feel sorry for John. He bowled so great all week long. But it's hard to be too unhappy to see a nice guy like Les Sykes win. Of course, he hasn't won yet. Right there again. Bam! Actually smacked his hands that time.
I think he started this back in the first game. He was in the pocket. I don't think he's ever been out of it for long.
He certainly has one or two shots. He's just a great display of bowling. As Petraglia switches balls in an effort to try and get something and leaves the 3-5-10. And it appeared that both left-handers are just struggling. Their strategy to try and bowl as little as possible evidently didn't work. The lights have dried out the lanes enough that the ball's hooking early on them. And chops the 3 off the 5.
Well, Johnny Petraglia's name hangs over that lane, lane 18, but the lane by no means belongs to him. It does not belong to him at all.
I know John's terribly disappointed and upset. He wanted to win so badly. And the washout, wow, it's just through the nose or won't make it up. What a horrible feeling. I've been in that position, and it's just so frustrating. There's nothing you can do.
Well, let's figure it out. What does Les Sykes have to do here? Is it too early?
Well, right now, Les Sykes has 149. He still needs to show up as Johnny makes the washout. But it's all academic. Les is going at a 230 pace right now. If he would open the last 3 frames, he would still win the match. So he just needs to show up, stay behind the foul line, keep the ball in the lane, which he's going to do. I fully expect him just to keep striking. Right there again. Bam!
Bring on the world. Les Sykes is ready.
Like the Gladiators, he's just taking them all one at a time and throwing them off. Even Les figures he's got it won now.
An open frame in the first, and then 7 in a row.
Amazing. Les was humble and surprised that he made the finals. He snuck into the last spot. He was the same way when he made the championship round last night, and now we're going to see him as the champion, the 1983 Waukegan Open champion. And doesn't get the 4-pin out of there. That break he got back in the 3rd frame seemed to be the thing that turned it around.
Oh, you're watching a very special moment in sports. And a very sad moment in sports for Johnny Petraglia.
1 strike is all he could get. Anthony bowled 150 on the pair. Johnny's going at a 160 pace. Leaves the 6-pin. John just finishing it out, getting it over with. He'll be heading back on home. To Manalapan, New Jersey.
He can't believe it. Les Sykes is going to be a winner.
For the second time. Puts him back in the Firestone Tournament of Champions.
He coasted in every game.
Well, the first game, until the 9th frame, was still... But he did. He just dominated the field.
I mean, he had leads of 30, 40, 50 pins, and now it's even greater than that.
John can finish out with 178 if he goes all the way. Sykes can finish with 258. To go with 705 and a 235 average and 22 strikes for 3 games. John, couldn't get a double. 168 he's going to finish if he makes the spare. Could be a 90-pin difference if Sykes strikes all the way up. Les has already added 7 more strikes to that 22. He can get 3 more in the 10th. He can have 32 strikes.
And Les did not beat any easy bowlers.
He beat a class field.
He beat 2 Hall of Famers. Who he beat? He beat the great Earl Anthony, and he's going to beat the great Johnny Petraglia. 2 PBA Hall of Famers. Losing to this man, an ABC Hall of Famer.
There it is, right there again. One more time. I know it's a happy day for the Sykes family as Mary Kay over there looks like she has tears in her eyes.
I think she does.
Lyle is just proud as he can be.
I think she's holding a tissue in her left hand, and that's not because she has a cold.
Well, victories when they come 14 years apart are treasured. One more time. And he gets a love tap on the 10.
Oh, boy. Yikes, it's Sykes.
His average is going to be in the 240s. Amazing. What a performance. Probably the best one we've seen this year. Finish it with one more strike, Les. All right.
Standing ovation for him. We've been in the 60s, the 70s, and now the 80s. Les Sykes, the winner, 258 to 168. $13,000 richer, and the dream is fulfilled. We'll give him his just rewards when we return on USA after this.
Working around here, a guy gets very wet on the outside and very dry on the inside.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. The rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind. Whoa, whoa, welcome to Miller Time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
Welcome, well you know you're welcome. Welcome, everybody's welcome. Welcome to Miller Time, yours and mine.
Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge. And talk about tough. This stock Chevy S10 took on the Baja 1000, the most grueling off-road event on the continent. It was a totally stock pickup with guts enough to start and finish. And at the Baja, to finish is to win. You can buy an S10 pickup just like it from your Chevy dealers now. Now, choose 10.9% financing or $300 cash back on new 83 S10 pickups and maxi cabs. Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge.
Do you know how many of these motor oils would love to make this claim? 10. Mobile One.
The applause you hear is for Les Sykes, who won here in Waukegan in 1969, and after a drought of 14 years, the longest drought in PBA history between titles, he has won again. Les, there's only room for one more banner in Bertrand Lanes, and it's going to belong to you for 1983. And here to present the check for $13,000 and the trophy, emblematic of the championship, here is Frank Riskowitz, the president of Bertrand Lanes.
Congratulations, Les, for a very, very fine performance, and what a commendable job you did, coming all the way from 24th place to the top. You had to fight through a lot of guys to get there. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your check, Les, for $13,000 from Bertrand Lanes, and then a trophy so that you can remember this memorable night here in Waukegan.
Thank you, Frank. Les, I know your emotions must be running crazy at this point, but I saw some tears from your wife. I know you must feel very happy. Can you possibly tell me what you were feeling as the games went on?
Well, it's been so long since I won. I wasn't sure what it felt like to win. But 14 years later, here I am. Thank goodness there's a Waukegan.
Now, Mike Durbin picked Jimmy Certain to win. He picked Tom Baker to win, and he picked Earl Anthony to win and Johnny Petraglia to win. He underestimated you, but Mike, I think he had it tonight.
He certainly did. Les, I've just never seen better bowling. I just want to know, have you ever bowled better than that in your life?
When I was about 16 years old.
Just a few years ago. Oh, boy, my congratulations. You were great tonight.
I don't know, Mike. I don't really think I was that good. Everything I threw went to the pocket, and at one time I thought I'd hurt something in my back. 48 years old, right? But,
all right, well, thank you very much, Les. Congratulations. Congratulations to the Sykes family. Mike, thanks again. To all you folks here in Waukegan, it's been a great show and an emotional, exciting moment for the $100,000 Waukegan Open. And thanks to you for watching on USA. Good night, everybody. The $100,000 Waukegan Open on USA has been brought to you in part by light beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. By Mobile Detergent Gasoline for your everyday driving needs. By Levi's Menswear, makers of Levi's Action Slacks. And by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA One, and USA One is taking charge.
The recovery cools off. That story and more next.
This is the Wall Street Journal Late News Report. Here is William Bruce.